Welcome to this episode of Shady Sports Network. Today I'm joined by my guest, Brandon Brooks, cornerback for the Houston Gamblers. Brandon, how are you doing this morning?
Man, not too bad, not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all
Before we
having me.
get, Thank you, man. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor of this episode, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a ticketing app where you can get tickets to concerts, events, and anything. SeatGeek lines up the tickets from worst price to best price. Worst price being in the orange, best price being in green. You can sort your tickets, and you could also save $20 off using our code from Shady Sports Network, Sam Shady, all lowercase. Thank you so much for using this code. It really helps our network grow. With that said, let's get right into it. Brandon, how was it growing up in San Diego, California?
Oh man, San Diego, people ask that question all the time. I feel like it's just like growing up anywhere else, except minus the winter. We don't get many winters in San Diego. It stays one temperature all year long. What I'm saying? It's a football place. We have a couple Heisman Trophy winners, that came out of here, Reggie Bush and guys like that. But what I'm saying? It is a good place to grow up. I enjoyed it.
That's awesome, man. Great weather there, too.
Yeah, for
So in
sure.
high school, you attended Patrick Henry High School in San Diego, California. You played high school football and you also played track. Talk
Yeah.
about the difference between playing football and track.
Man, it's a night and day difference. Football, like I said, is the ultimate team sport. You know what I'm saying? When you move over to track, it's sort of, you have your team, your team. It's team oriented, but at the same time, there's a self aspect in there as well. If you're running 100 meter, it's you versus the 8 other people you're racing against, as opposed to playing football. You need all 11 people on the field, you and the 10 others. But definitely, I feel like they do go hand to hand, when it comes into, speed training and stuff like that. But as far as, just the sports, yeah, two completely different entities.
Man, I get into that debate with my friends all the time. Which one is harder, track or football? They're both so different sports. And
Football's harder, if you ask me. If you
I
ask me.
agree with you. I definitely agree with you. So you had a roller coaster of college journey, to put it lightly. Like,
Yep.
take me through that. So from my research I did, if I'm not mistaken,
Let's go.
you went to Dixie State first.
Hmm.
Then you went to Riverside Community
Yep.
College. Then you transferred to Nevada.
Yep.
Then you went to Virginia College or Canada. So
Yep.
take me
Correct.
through that entire journey as a whole.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, this is a journey a lot of people are often, intrigued by, so I tell the story often. But I'll give you a brief synopsis of the story. But real quick, man, after, like you said, after I left Patrick Henry High School, I went to Dixie State University, you know what I'm saying? As a Division II university in St. George, Utah. I went there, I spent the whole year there. Ultimately, I ended up just transferring there because when I left high school, I wanted to play, big time football. I wanted to go D1. You know what I'm saying? That was Division II university. I wasn't, familiar with JUCO coming out of high school or anything like that. I just knew I had a paid scholarship to a Division II university, so I took it. I went there. I was doing a little research and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, well, if I go to a junior college, you know what I'm saying? That's the best case that I have to, to continue playing if I, want to get to, that higher level. But junior college, that's the lowest you could go, So I had to basically, leave a paid scholarship to go do that. But so I basically tried to find the best junior college I could find in California. It didn't have to be in San Diego, as you say, it's Riverside. So I basically went there. They told me that I had to basically take like a whole lot of credits, and also perform on the field and stuff. So I actually basically took 2 semesters worth of classes just in one semester. You know what I'm saying? I took about 30 units. I got my AA degree, and I was had a good time at Riverside, man. We had a really good team, good group of coaches and all that. So my offers start coming in and stuff like that. I started taking visits around. Eventually, I ended up committing to the University of Nevada, Reno, as you see. I went there for first year coaching staff, stuff like that. Long story short, I ended up transferring from University of Nevada. Various reasons, man. We started off pretty slow. We started off pretty rocky, and we had a couple coaching changes. Some big coaching changes. That affect guys' position groups and stuff like that. And here I was, coming out of JUCO, and I had like a good amount of offers. So I'm thinking, okay, well, okay, maybe this place wasn't for me. Let me just go ahead and go to one of these other schools, that I visited or whatever. But back then, this is 2017, 2018. It's not that simple. This is before transfer portal. This is before all the stuff that we got going on. So the NCAA had a lot of different rules and sanctions back then. So ultimately, long story short, man, I wasn't really able to transfer straight from a D1 to another D1, without sitting out a year, and I didn't really have the time to sit out a year, you know what I'm saying? So, long story short, a coach from my junior college, he calls me up, talks about an opportunity to go play Canadian college football, up in Canada. Um, I was like, okay, this is different. I'm still a young kid. I'm probably about, 19 years old. I might have been 20. But I figure, like this is probably, a good opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm American, so the NFL will always know about me. I know a little bit about the CFL, so let me go ahead and see, how's college up there. I'll be playing in the Canadian football. I'm playing in their backyard, so maybe that'll be good. I'll have a two-way go essentially. From north and south of the border. So I ended up going up there, man. Spent 2 years up there. I had a 2 good seasons while I was up there. I was invited to the 2020 CFL Combine, which is pretty big. They don't typically invite too many Americans up there, but again, me playing in their backyard, they've seen me play before. They're like, okay, well, cool, like let's get this guy up invited to our combine. So that happened, and then COVID and all that stuff starts start to happen. So my combine was unfortunately canceled, and since then I've sort of been bouncing around to figure out how I could just continue to elevate. So I'm sure you did your research. So I'm sure you seen I was over there in Europe and played for Barcelona and doing stuff like that. And now I'm fortunate and blessed enough to have signed the USFL deal, inked with the Houston Gamblers. So but yeah, man, I did a little bit of bouncing around, but the goal is just to keep elevating.
I mean, man, like I think it speaks a lot to the type of person that you are, that you've been able to go through so much and keep pushing. Most guys would have quit after the
Most guys
first
would
two
have quit.
seasons, but
Most guys would have quit.
you don't quit, man. You just keep pushing. That says a lot about you. How do you view your play style? When I look at you, when I watch your film, I look at you as an explosive type corner. You remind me a lot of Richard Sherman, or maybe a different type of player, Ed Reed. You're really explosive off the page. Where did you get that from? Where did you get that quote unquote dog mentality from?
I don't think that that's something that you could really learn. To be honest, I think that's when you say you're talking about football, which is harder, football or track. I think that's something that makes football a little bit more difficult. Is I believe that is something that you're born with or you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like you get on the field and everybody has their different thing. Whether some people when they button their chin strap, they tap into that different thing, or some people when they put their gloves on, they tap into that different thing, or they listen to their music. Yeah, man, that's just how the game goes. But I feel like the way I would say my play style, I would say shut down corner. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I feel most comfortable in press man coverage and man coverage, on my own. I know a lot of defensive coordinators, these days they like to have, corners that can man up on the outsides. That way, all in between they can play, run different zones and different schemes. Say we got a guy in the slot that's killing us. You know what I'm saying? We can have a nickel cover him and a safety shade over the top, or whatever it is. So I like to say that a physical corner. I like to disrupt the timing. I have good size. 6'2", weighing about 198 right now. You know what I'm saying? Good size for a cornerback. In the NFL. So I like to use what I can. Use my long arms. I'm rangy. I can use my legs and just help the defense.
100%, man. Totally correct. So after your college career, you headed over to play pro in Barcelona. Shout out my dad. He's watching from Europe. What about playing in pro in Barcelona like drove you to play there rather than maybe taking an arena opportunity or opportunities here in the States?
Got you. Got you. So what people probably don't know much is before my Barcelona opportunity came up, right? So again, 2020 came, that shut down everything. 2021 rolls around, right? And now, stuff starting to open back up a little bit. So I'm hearing something about the FCF. Have you heard of, about the FCF?
Oh, yes, I
So anyway, so I fly down to Atlanta, I try out for the FCF. You know what I'm saying? There's about 110 guys in my trial, 115 guys. They said that they're gonna, take about 10. We're gonna sign about 10 of you guys today. So I was blessed enough. Again, I had a pretty good day. The owner was running, not the owner, the commissioner. He was running our DB drills and stuff like that. I had a good day. I was breaking up some balls, and ultimately, I was blessed enough to sign a contract there. Boom. So this is January 2021. I signed a contract to the FCF. Long story short, I fly back home to get my clothes, and I test positive for COVID. This was the first time I test positive, so now I can't fly back. It's 2021, but it's still, COVID's pretty sensitive anyway. So I can't fly back. So ultimately, they have to release me from, the FCF. And it's like, dang, last year was COVID, cancel my pro day, cancel my combine, sign my first pro contract. Now I can't go because I have COVID. You know what I'm saying? So it was just one thing after the other. But couple months later, man, I just kept working. There was nothing really else to do. I had a little personal training job. You know what I'm saying? I just kept working. And again, man, I'm a believer in God. God blessed me with an opportunity to go over to Barcelona. I heard, in the past it was NFL Europe, and I saw a lot of different film, and I was like, okay, first year, excuse me. I arrived late. So I came. Our first game was on Saturday. I made it to Barcelona like on Wednesday morning or something like that. Practiced a couple days and started on Saturday. But it was a good time, man. It was a good time. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't even know that they play football in Canada and that they play football, over in Europe. But it's good football. You know what I'm saying? Like just like we're kids and we grow up watching NFL and grow up watching football. They do the exact same over there. But yeah, it was a good time. I got to travel around a little bit, play against some good competition, get some good coaching. So I enjoyed it.
What was your favorite part about Barcelona? The sights and the sounds. Like where did you travel there? That
Favorite
really
part about Barcelona was probably like you said, the travel aspect, right? So yeah, so it's the European League of Football, right? So it's not just, we don't just play teams in Spain or, neighboring states or neighboring countries. We go, Germany, they're going down to Turkey. There's a lot of different, France has a team now. So, you're flying to different countries that you've never been, to play games every week. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool in itself. Being, from San Diego, California, a lot of people don't, get to go and have those trips and do stuff like that. And I was blessed and fortunate enough to do it in my line of work while playing football. So that was huge for me. So I think my favorite part about going over in Barcelona was definitely the travel that I was able to do.
For sure, I think traveling is really important. You get a good horizon of things, and you were able to see so many things that are going
Yeah,
to help you now in your experience and your opportunity right now.
for
So,
sure.
outside of football, what do you got going on? What are some new developments personally for you right now?
To be honest, man, there's not too much going on outside of football. I make this, my number one thing. As you know, we're about probably about a little less than a month and a half away, from reporting to camp. So main thing right now is just taking care of my body, making sure I show up to camp in shape, every day. I see it as, an opportunity. Every day of practice will be an interview. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's spot is guaranteed, what I'm saying? Not even mine. So, you have to just work day in, day out for that. And, make sure you just handle your business like a professional. So that's really the main thing that I have going on right now, man. Just just locking in. I can't wait for the season.
Like how you, man. So you're playing for the Houston Gamblers, right? Like that's an
Hmm.
awesome opportunity, man. You're one step away from going to the pros.
They were
Playing,
close. They lost a lot of close games. They lost a lot of close games. When you go back and you take a look at the film, you see 3-7, on paper, and then you go and you look at the box scores. Man, dang, they lost this last second field goal. Oh man, that's the last second field goal too. Dang, that's the last second touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So you look up, they lost about 4 games, by a combined small margin of points. So it's exciting to see because we do have pretty much the whole offense is coming back. You know what I'm saying? Our GM and coaches, they've been doing a great job all off season. Signing the right guys. Putting talent in. Just helping out. But I think it's gonna be a great year. And then plus, moving from the one hub to now having 4. That's also going to do a lot for the league.
that actually leads me into my next question. So you're playing a certain hub. How do you feel about the hub cities? Would you do it like them, or would you prefer to play in your home city?
I mean, well, obviously, I feel like most guys would prefer to play in their home city. Where you have that fan aspect. You know what I'm saying? Having fans is always good, but like growth. Like I said, just keep elevating, right? So, season one, only one team had fans. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was in the same boat. So season two, four teams that have fans. Unfortunately, Houston Gamblers will be located in Memphis, Tennessee. The Showboats will be hosting us this season. So most fans will be Showboats. You know what I'm saying? But I still feel like at the end of the day, it's football, right? So like if I'm being real, when you're out there on the field and you're going through your reads and your progressions and stuff like that, you can't hear any of the fans or anything like that. It's nice to come off the field, and see that people are there watching your games. But whether they're rooting for us or rooting for the other team, man, as long as people are coming out, to watch what I do for work, you know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for that.
100% feel that. So Memphis, Tennessee, right? It's
Yeah,
a big city. It's a unique city to
yeah.
say the least. How do you feel about playing there with the
I
barbecue?
never been to Memphis, man. I never been to Memphis. I've been to Nashville, Tennessee once. I never been to Memphis. I know they have a nice stadium, that the Memphis Tigers play at. So that'd be cool, playing on Memphis Tiger Stadium. I'm really excited to play up in Detroit, in the Lions Stadium. That'd be real cool. Also, Pro Football Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? I've never been there as well. So, I'll get to see all the different Super Bowl rings and stuff like that. So that'd be cool. So get to do a little bit of traveling around. So I'm excited, man.
That's awesome. So on your team in the Gambler, do you have a wide receiver named Tio Redding? He has great hands. Are you excited to go against him in practice?
I'm excited to go against everybody, man. This is gonna be our squad. This is gonna be our team. You know what I'm saying? The main thing is when we get to camp, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to, put their best foot forward, and that's gonna make everybody better. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna, have several one-on-one reps, several 7-on-7 reps. You know what I'm saying? And we're all professional. We're all pretty at this point. We're all pretty much good at what we do, and we can help, make each other better. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm hoping that the best work we get, will be in practice. That's me versus them versus me. That way when we go to the game, on Saturday, Sunday, you know what I'm saying? We've seen each other all week long at practice, so everything else is, cake from there.
That's 100%. So, right, how was it when you went from college to college, right? How was it being away from family? I know you mentioned you don't really get homesick, but
Yeah.
how is it? Like it must be hard a little bit, you know?
And like not saying this as a bad thing, but no, I don't really too much get homesick like that, man. I feel like I probably would, if it wasn't for a reason. But in my head, I've programmed, like this is my life, this is what I do. I'm choosing to go and play football. Like I don't have to do this. I could stay at home, I could do this, I could do that. I'm choosing to do this. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's business. I feel like even when you're in college, you still have to behave like a professional. You know what I'm saying? And everything, like that's just what it is. You get 12 months out of the year. I'm gone. About half the year, 4, 5, 6 months. Then I get to come home for 4, 5, 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So, it's schedules could be a whole lot worse. You know what I'm saying? We have U.S. troops, that go off, and they're gone for 2, 3 years, without seeing their families. They have newborn children and stuff like that. So it could always be worse. It could always be worse.
That's a great way to look at it. So, what are you doing right now to keep your body in shape? Like, what does your day to day routine like? How's your diet looking? Like, what are you doing to
I
keep?
got a I got a I got a pretty I got a weekly routine, you know what I'm saying? So I on the field, like doing speed, agility, change of direction, DB work 3 days a week. 5 days a week I'm in the gym, you know what I'm saying? We're lifting explosive, upper body, explosive lower body, working on core, working on balance. Also in between those days you have to take your recovery seriously, so on weekends, whether that's deep tissue massage so you can get your body back right for Monday. You know what I'm saying? Cold tubs at the house. Normatec boots. Everything you can. To basically, to work out your body to as hard as you can, and then recover as fast as you can, so you could do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? But pretty strict workout routine, man. Like I said, just being a professional and taking care of your body, man. A lot of guys, when you leave college and stuff like that, when you're at college, everything is sort of tailored to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you have this time you're supposed to show up for your lift, you have to do this, but you have somebody holding your hand through it. When you become a professional, nobody, you don't have a coach or anybody like that telling you what you got to do. You're at that point, you're supposed to know what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about creating a routine and just being disciplined, having some sort of self-discipline, and that'll help you get to where you want to go.
For sure, staying locked in is important.
Staying locked in.
100%. So, who are some of your role models? Like I saw, your favorite rapper you were tweeting the other day. It's like Lotto, I think. Is their
No,
name?
no, 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 no. My favorite rapper is not Lotto. No, no.
All right, hey, man, I just had to clarify that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, who is your favorite rapper?
Well, me personally, my favorite rapper is a guy by the name of Mozzie. You know what I'm saying? He's a West Coast dude. He's from California. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I like his music, but there's a lot of music out there. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not getting with what Mozzie's saying, it's okay. There's a lot of different other artists you can listen to, but yeah, that's my favorite artist. You said who are some role models that I have,
Yeah,
man?
favorite athlete. Who's
Say
your
it again.
favorite athlete? Like someone.
Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
There's a quick one that's pretty easy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, as of lately, we're getting a whole lot of Deion, in the media. So, it'll be real easy, for a lot of people to say like, yeah, like Deion Sanders is my favorite athlete. But I've been, this is I've damn near I play corner, because of Deion, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely Deion Sanders, Floyd Money Mayweather, that's a a real good athlete. But as far as role models and stuff like that, man, I don't. As the older you get, I feel like you start to have less and less of a role model, and now I'm trying to become my own. I want to be a role model, for others. You know what I'm saying? As you heard earlier, I'm a believer in God. You know what I'm saying, and that was in my opinion. You know what I'm saying, that what I believe is that was the most perfect person, right? So I try to model my life after Jesus Christ, as best as we can. Nobody will get there because that's just not how it happens. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's my role model. Other than that, man, I'm trying to be a role model to other people in the community, and anybody else that needs help or anything like that, man.
That's awesome, man. That's amazing that you dedicate your life to doing your passion, but also giving back to the people in your community.
Sure.
Speaking about your community, how are you involved in your community now? Like, are you still connected with a lot of people you knew in high school, or what are you? What are you?
As far as people from high school and stuff, so I feel like with the prevalence of social media now, you know what I'm saying, it makes it a lot easier, for you to hook up with, there's Facebook and all these different outlets, that make it easy for you to connect with people that you, I guess, known in the past. But what I'm doing in the community now, man, really, I feel like I'm showing guys, that it's possible. You know what I'm saying? That it's possible. That's my main thing is like if you don't quit, if you genuinely, if you put the work in and you don't quit and you have a vision, you know what I'm saying, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? And I want to show guys that, you know what I'm saying? Like young dudes that are in high school, we go out to our little workouts, I'll go and I'll speak to, young guys that are in high school about, just take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like I think football is a closing window of opportunity, right? As each year passes, your window gets smaller and smaller and smaller. But just show guys, man, that it's possible. If you don't quit, you could do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like manifestation and all that is real. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real.
That is key to success. So I noticed on your Instagram, like you have a lot of style. You remind me a lot of my favorite rapper, Dusty Locane.
Okay.
Where did that style come from? Like,
To be honest, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't even say that I'm the most stylish person. If you catch me on any day, you're gonna catch me in a white tee, man, and some sweatpants, and some slides, some slippers and stuff like that. But on occasion, you do have to, birthdays and you go out to, a nice dinner, you do have to throw something together, put something nice on, what I'm saying, in case, there might be cameras or something like that around. But yeah, man, I'm not really a fashionista. I'm not a shoe head, right? You're not gonna catch me, buying the latest Jordans. Like that's just not me. You know what I'm saying? I like to be comfortable. And but I do like to look good, right? I don't like looking like like I'm homeless, but I'm not the biggest fashionista.
So I noticed on your Instagram, like you got into snowboarding. That's your thing now. That's what a lot of people do.
So I was unfortunately this season, right? This snowboard season, I'm not gonna, I'm staying off the slopes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like pretty good opportunity ahead of me. You know what I'm saying? Nice contract, with the USFL. So, I don't want to go and, goof it off, on the slopes. You know what I'm saying? So I'll save that for, for next season or the season after that, whenever, that allows, you know what I'm saying? Like the snow is always going to be there. Football is not always going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So I'll double back on the snow when I can. But yeah, in previous years, yeah, man, I took up snowboarding and I found out I liked it and I was pretty good at it.
So back to college for a sec. How was it going from class to class, from school to school? How did you work? How did that work with transfer credits from the U.S. to Canada?
Pretty much everything transferred the way it should. When you're in colleges and when you're, Division I sports and stuff like that, they put you on like, pretty strict, like take these units and then right after that you take these. You have like sort of a setup, until the time you graduate, right? So if you follow that setup, you know what I'm saying, you should be okay. Now, granted, when I have had a lot of transfers, so every time I transfer from one school, I have to get all the transcripts, from all the schools and send them, so sometimes, this will transfer over perfectly, and sometimes, it won't fit perfectly, for example, I'm a kinesiology major, right? So if I take, a kinesiology class at University of Nevada, when I transferred to University of Regina, it transferred as an elective, not as like the class. So you have to like, retake a class, you do something like that. So it was pretty annoying, but for the most part, man, everything transferred. Everything did what it needed to do. Everything did what it needed to do for sure.
So 2023, what do you have to say to Gamblers fans? Like you, Sumlin, everyone from the whole staff and you. What do you have to say? How do you get us fired up?
Man, just show up and show out, man. That you know what I'm saying. This isn't this league. You just got to turn your TV on. Turn the TV on Fox, and we'll be there. Every week we're gonna put the work in. You know what I'm saying. I can say that with confidence. I know that day in and day out we're gonna put the work in to make sure that we can put the best best product on the field for you guys. And show up and show out. I know it'd be hard to to get to some of the games because again we're not in Houston, but even showing your support, through social media, just letting us know that you're watching at home on the couch, it means a lot. It means a whole lot, and we're gonna do everything that we can, to bring, what I'm saying, the championship back to the Houston Gamblers for sure.
I'll be locked in for sure. I know that.
For sure.
So my last question for you is: a person my age and people younger, what would you have to tell us from your shoes? What advice would you give someone my age or younger? How do you go about the journey of life? Because you're gonna have struggles, you're gonna have high slopes, low slopes. How do you go about this?
Like same thing, man. Don't quit. That's the one thing. Don't quit. I have a pinned tweet. It's been on my Twitter since 2017. If you want something bad enough, like you'll make a way. You know what I'm saying? And you could think of that with a lot of things, right? From toys from a childhood to a favorite meal. Like if you want something bad enough, you'll make a way, right? Like if you're laying down and you want to go get a burrito and you want it bad enough, like you'll find a way to go get that burrito. And I feel like you could apply that with everything in life. Like if you really want it, like you could go get it. All it's gonna take is work, man. I tell people oftentimes, like you said, highs and lows, right? Like it's not just gonna be one straight line, to your destination. You're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have bad weeks, you're gonna have good months, you know what I'm saying? Just keep going. Just keep going. If you get stuck in a rough patch, you gotta keep going. I heard something on Twitter or Instagram. It was like if you get stuck in hell, why would you stop? You got to keep going. You don't want to go back. You don't want to stop. In a fire. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep going. And you know what I'm saying? Just do what works for you. Find your rhythm, get in the groove, and just put your head down and work.
That awesome, man. That kind of ties into the message of 317, which says if you don't see it now, you'll see it soon. So no matter what you
see it soon.
Yes, sir. No matter what you go through, man, just keep pushing. So, Brandon, I want to thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you for taking out time in your busy schedule. I'm going to be tuned in. I'll be with you throughout this ride, be watching you doing your thing. And go out there, man. Do what you do. Lockdown all the way, man.
I appreciate it.
Go, bro. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you having me.
Thank you, man.
Have a good one.
You too.